Good morning, my neighbours!
Well, good morning, you sexy Mother Hubbards. It's Friday in the forlorn and formerly Great Britain. It's time for an alternative paper review. Let's go! First up to the Daily Express, which is essentially the Daily Mail if the Mail was retargeted, away from the wealthy bigots of the shires and instead focused on monosyllabic boomers who communicate entirely through real-life emoji. Anyway, this is, of course, the story that a group of anti-war, anti-genocide, pro-peace activists beamed their messages and graphics onto the side of our precious Big Ben. And the Mail are also going with this. And look, the reason that they've both got one in the chamber, ready to go, ready to have the morning anger wank, is because it ticks every box for them. This is a perfect story for the Mail and the Express. Do we really think that the Daily Mail give a hoot about the racial sensitivities of an ethnic minority, in this instance, Jewish people? Or do we think it's more likely that the Tory press, the Express, the Mail, the Telegraph, the Sun, they are all absolutely shitting it over the prospect of a Labour government. And they know how tricky and icky the conversation around anti-Semitism is for Keir Starmer's Labour Party, even now, post-Corbyn. I mean, we all saw how awkward that was for him to navigate when it re-emerged again last week. So yeah, look, call me a raging cynic, if you must. But I wouldn't rule it out that this is the Express and the Mail amping up this rhetoric so that then when Keir Starmer is pushed to respond to a protest like this, he has to go, I wouldn't support that. And then he's got a whole other set of problems with, Muslim Labour councillors saying like, well, hang on a second. All they're doing is protesting. All they're doing is drawing attention to the plight of Gazans. Like, what are you doing? It's inarguably disgusting, really, isn't it? Because over there you have people being bombed, raped, murdered, maimed. And how is our politics responding to that over here? Oi, lefty. Oi, look, they put a thing on Big Ben up there, yeah? What have you got to say about that? God, it's depressing, isn't it? Although there is at least some comedic collateral to be gleaned from the Daily Express's pivot from fretting about cancel culture to publicly shitting their tits like, how come the police didn't arrest these people for saying the thing that I didn't like? It reminds me of the time, do you remember when all the right-wingers, all the opinionistas, the columnists, they were like, oh, cancel culture is the greatest threat to our democracy at this time. Cancel culture is. And then like a day later, they were like, the BBC must act to silence Lineker. Free speech is one of the core pillars of our democracy, and to even dream of regulating the press would be an assault on our way of life. Right. Anyone should be able to say anything about anything. Oi, Lineker just said you're a bit xenophobic. Cut his tongue out. Over to the Daily Telegraph now. Islamists are now in control, says Suella Braverman. Now, I saw this shared around, like the online version on Twitter first thing this morning. It said, Suella Braverman says, Islamists are in charge of Britain now. And I was like, God, do none of them ever take responsibility? They're so keen, they're so quick for everyone else to take responsibility of their life situation, their children. Can I have some help so my kids don't starve? No, that's your responsibility. Fuck off. But Christ, like when it comes to their own, expenses or speeding fines, speeding awareness courses, performance in the role of Home Secretary, or even if we just pan out from Suella Braverman a second, look at Liz Truss. She's all over the news again. She's got her new book out. She's on a US promotional tour. She's appearing at CPAC. And you're never going to guess the narrative she's selling, right? There's no contrition. She's not up there behind a CPAC podium saying, look, I tried to slash taxes, but actually I sort of underestimated the reaction of the markets and everybody's mortgages exploded. It was really bad. Can't stress it enough. Don't do that, guys. That is not the narrative she's selling. What do you think it is? Yep, it's this. It's Britain's deep state thwarted my plans. Or then the next day, it was a civil service full of trans activists. Tomorrow, it will be the Blob or the Wokerati. Like, none of them possessed the psychology to be able to actually hold their hands up and go like, do you know what? I think I might have made a mistake, guys. Like, have a little read of this, right? This is from Liz Truss's CPAC speech. I ran for office in 2022 because Britain wasn't growing, the state wasn't delivering. I wanted to cut taxes, reduce the administrative state, and take back control. What I did face was a huge establishment backlash, and a lot of it came from the state itself. Power used to be in the hands of politicians, and now it's moved to quangos and bureaucrats. You find a democratically elected government actually unable to enact policies. So in Liz Truss's mind, She was PM, she tried to do what was necessary to get Britain to grow again, but she was restricted. They wouldn't let her enact her policies. That was the problem. Which, as the Daily Star point out this morning, is completely bananas. I mean, for all the Daily Mail and Daily Express talk about it, why didn't the police storm in and arrest the protesters for saying that mental health professionals should have stormed in and detained Liz Truss for talking abject nonsense and undiluted delusional lunacy. I was brought down by the left-wing establishment. No, you fucking weren't. You weren't restricted. You enacted the policy that you wanted to do, and all hell broke loose. That is what happened. Guys, that's it for this one, and from me. Tonight, there's a live show on YouTube, 7:30. Hope to see you there, you cheeky tinkers.